Dr. Garrett Smith of, here we are. It's Dr. Garrett Smith of nutritionrestored.com, drgarrettsmith.com, Naturopathic Medicine of Southern Arizona. Before we get into this will be kind of like some random questions that people put on my Facebook today. Things I just feel like answering, and I might go over a little bit about how did the whole Limescale and Rust thing start? What are the nutritional origins and the things that we've been doing to start our whole chronic disease tumble down the calcium and rust depositing in our system. So, first, I am a physician. I am a licensed naturopathic physician in the state of Arizona. I am a doctor. I am not your doctor unless you are working with me. So if you decide to take anything you hear on this video and run with it, I didn't tell you to do it. You're an adult. You decide that on your own. So, next, how do you get a hold of me if you want to work with me? You email or call the office and you'll get in touch with the wonderful Julie. Don't send me messages through Facebook. I don't answer them. I don't like Facebook. I try to be on here as little as possible just to make this work for you guys. Facebook did say they were going to start using artificial intelligence to analyze your posts on Facebook to hopefully prevent you from committing suicide. I'm sure that's the only thing they'd ever use it for. They would never sell it to anybody. Never. No. Anyway. So you'd contact Julie through admin@nutritionrestored.com or my website, nutritionrestored.com, or you can call the office at 520-577-6888. Again, we do distance consults. I have lots of people in Australia, New Zealand, even one in South Africa. Actually, I might have two there now. I think I have two there now. And then UK and all that stuff. So distance is not a problem as long as you've got an internet connection. So then, the magnesium video I did. People have been asking me, where did that go? Based on the questions that I got and the ways that people were interpreting what I said and other things, I decided to take that video down. I'm going to be redoing it in pieces, like mag oil, magahol, mag lotion. Why don't I like magnesiums that are not pharmaceutical grade? I was mistaken on that one. It wasn't food grade. It was pharmaceutical grade. Is the stuff that doesn't have the bromine in it. That's a problem. So if you find a magnesium that is pharmaceutical grade, topical, you can use it. Whether it's a pre-made product like a mag lotion or the Greenway Biotech stuff that I know is pharmaceutical grade. Oh, if my voice seems a little funny, I got hoarse this week. I actually had to cancel my appointments yesterday in the afternoon because I couldn't even do them because I was so hoarse. So I'm back. Hopefully I'll keep my voice for the whole thing. And so yeah, the magnesium video will be remade as little short videos. Cooking videos, which is really what that magnesium video was, they need to be done in a very specific manner, and I didn't go over the recipe well enough. I didn't go over other stuff enough. So I'm just going to redo those. And then, for those of you who aren't familiar with me, Facebook Notes. If you don't know what Facebook Notes are, it's like basically a place where you can put, when you see me post on Facebook and it's an important informational post, I put it in Facebook Notes. So you can always go find it. So if you don't know how to find Facebook Notes, Google, how do I find Facebook Notes? Or where are the Facebook Notes? If you go on the little bar on my homepage, like Garrett Smith, on the Facebook, you go across and there will be you go to this side and there's a drop-down menu where close to the bottom of it, it'll say Notes. You just click in there and it's like a blog. It's basically my blog on Facebook, if you want to think of it that way. That's where all the good stuff is, like the 5 posts about cod liver oil and how 20 years later they found that people who were taking it back in Scandinavia weren't doing so hot, like higher rates of asthma, all sorts of things, all these studies that the cod liver oil people never told you about and stuff like that. So there's good stuff there. Go there. That's if you want to think of where do I have a blog, that's really where my blog is. So I had a couple questions from people. Hopefully they're on right now. I didn't see them check in, but I don't pay attention to that little ticker on thing with people. So Pippa asked, how does supplementing vitamin C impact the hair analysis? Okay. And now let me finish the question. I'm guessing the sodium and potassium come up to some degree. Anything else that is reflected in the test? So some of these questions may seem a little bit, actually, the Pippa's had training in hair analysis. And not my training, but training. And another, Harry, also has had training from me in the hair analysis. And they both have questions today. Vitamin C on the hair analysis. Okay. Most hair analysis people to this point that I know of, most of the big names who I've mentioned before, they don't use much vitamin C. It's a big problem. So there's not much. So I'm one guy doing the tests that come through my door. I'm good at picking up patterns. That's why I got into hair analysis, because patterns, I can see them all day. But to see something impact the HTMA, I haven't had enough data yet. I haven't had enough input to figure that out. What I do know is from vitamin C in the literature, vitamin C deficiency will lead to osteoporosis, which means that a vitamin C deficiency, osteoporosis on hair analysis, tends to show up as high calcium. People think that doesn't make sense. The calcium that you're losing from your bones has to go somewhere. It has to get out of you to lose calcium, right? It has to go through your blood. When you load up the blood with calcium, you're going to see higher calcium in the hair because the body's trying to get rid of that extra calcium. It would rather not put it into your blood vessels and your joints, but it's going to have to because the hair only takes a little bit. But anyway, so vitamin C helps with vitamin D production in the body, or regulation, if you want to think of it that way. So vitamin C I'm expecting it to see calcium levels normalize faster than they did before. Now, being that calcium and vitamin D they're like, the whole point of vitamin D in the body is mainly to regulate calcium. So if we get vitamin D to regulate better, that should be better. But what I'm getting at is calcium is regulated by vitamin D. When there's too much vitamin D in the system, we waste potassium. And we see that the most on a hair test, not on blood tests. Because if your potassium level were to completely crash and disappear on a blood test, you'd be dead. Your body just doesn't get to do that. So one of the places the body can send out the SOS, or it can show that you have low potassium, you're trending towards low potassium over time, or like your body's saying, we don't have enough money to pay our bills, so we're not going to spend money in the hair. We're not going to go drinking at the bar and waste potassium, waste money into the hair when we don't have to. Your body does not have to put any minerals into the hair. We take this example, this idea to the extreme by saying your body doesn't even have to make hair. Sure doesn't have to put any minerals in it. So potassium can drop to nothing on the hair test. And that's just showing us that your body's had trouble keeping your potassium levels up over time. So it says, don't waste it in the hair. I don't have it to waste. The mistake that people have made in hair analysis is they think that the potassium follows the sodium. No. Sodium follows the potassium. The potassium is the leader, and until you get the potassium to come up, the sodium won't move. How do we fix the potassium? We fix vitamin D. Does vitamin A raise calcium or potassium? Does vitamin A raise potassium on the hair test? I don't see it happening. We just got to get past the old vitamin D issues. My specialty is getting all this vitamin D supplements that people took out of their system. Now, when people have what I call stubborn high calcium, where I've been working with them for like a year or two, and their calcium, I can't break it. They're above 100, they're above 200, and they just won't come down. I'm pretty sure now that we have an iron overload problem. And that because the iron overload problem wasn't being dealt with in my previous work as much, or at all, I wasn't getting through to that problem. That's my theory. So, So yes, I believe calcium's going to respond to the vitamin C. It's going to regulate better. Therefore, magnesium's going to move because magnesium likes to follow calcium if you're getting enough. Calcium, through its relationship with vitamin D, would then affect potassium. Potassium leads sodium, so that would then affect sodium. It seems that too much vitamin D will deplete boron. So when you look at hair tests, anybody who's looked into a lot of hair tests is wondering, where the heck is all the boron in everybody? It's just gone. I don't think it's in the soil, and I think vitamin D in foods and supplements. So fortified foods, vitamin D supplements, cod liver oil, nightshades. Nightshades contain vitamin D. All these things are just taking whatever boron comes in and they're just kicking it out. It's not staying. So anyway, those are some of the changes from vitamin C on the HTMA that I'm planning on seeing. Okay, another one. Pippa, a friend of hers, says that she has low copper and molybdenum and low potassium. Right off the bat, that's not enough info for the way I look at it. I have to see like the whole test. It's kind of weird. I don't know if I can teach this skill to people, but it's being able to look at the test as a whole and get a feel for what's happening, and then you talk to the person, and then you can ferret it out, and you can get more info. Oh, they'll say, I'm feeling this way, and this supplement didn't agree with me, and I feel great on this one, and then you can start going, oh, this all makes sense now. And you can figure out contaminations, and so it's tough to... So basically, Dr. Lawrence Wilson's work, and Dr. Eck before him, the obsession with hidden copper toxicity. I don't see it. It's not as big a problem as people want to think. Low copper, I'm debating the levels of copper that I have been taught to and I had come to shoot for. I'm actually thinking that people don't need quite as much copper as even the hidden copper toxicity people were saying. And I'm seeing lots of, as we're getting the iron out of people, I'm seeing lots of hidden zinc deficiency showing up. Or it's just that the iron overload requires tons of zinc to process as it's coming out. So anyway, do I think that just because low potassium, I mean, the people who do nutritional balancing and they give lots of vitamin D, their potassium will never come up. The potassium will never come up until the vitamin D problem is fixed, because the vitamin D is the strongest supplement you can take over the counter. Bar none. So strong it'll kill you early. Vitamin D and iron, boy, those supplements, you take them over the counter and you take too much of them, they will kill you, and that's in the research. So, until the vitamin D problem is over, the potassium won't come up. Low molybdenum, I have 4 questions I ask people about molybdenum deficiency that kind of give me an idea of how intense it is. Low molybdenum, I usually give them molybdenum. Do I think that copper is like hiding and depleting their molybdenum? If they had copper toxicity, hidden or not, so outright copper toxicity is easy to see. It's right there. It smacks you in the face. Definitely above a 2.5, but a little bit below that. I'm starting to think about lowering my copper toxicity standards. So, copper toxicity is either outright, it shows up, or when it is detoxing, when the body dumps it. Because I see this with my people. I see it on hair tests. We test, we don't guess. We don't assume there's a hidden copper toxicity, and yet the hair test doesn't show any copper. That is ludicrous. That is insanity. Why would we run a hair test if we're going to say that people have this hidden copper toxicity, and as we're treating them for copper toxicity that we can't see, and their copper's going down and they're getting worse, that they're detoxing copper we can't see? I don't play like Wonderland imagination games. I mean, I'll have theories as to what's going on behind the scenes. But I gave up on the hidden copper toxicity thing because I would see copper when it detoxed. I would see copper symptoms when they detoxed. And when we got the copper down, then the symptoms went away. This is how I learned about hidden copper toxicity and how much BS it is. I was into that for a while. I was giving everybody, you gotta get all this copper out of it. It's all stuck in there. And I was doing this. And I'd have a couple of people who their copper was low. And what they were finding was that anything this was a nutrition educated person I was working with. They basically found that any copper antagonist they took, B6, they were even researching the heck out of vitamin A to find out that vitamin A had like one study showing it might antagonize copper. Don't run with that. Don't stop taking your vitamin A if you're working with me just because I said that. My goodness, don't take actions based on this video. Anyway, it's an example of an extreme example that what taught me. Those are the things that really teach. So, anytime this person would take any kind of copper antagonist and they had low copper on the hair test, they would get all sorts of symptoms, anxiety and palpitations and all this stuff. So most people in the industry who are stuck in one mindset would say, oh, you're detoxing copper, that's why you feel so bad. She would stop the antagonists, anything that was bothering her, problem would go away after a couple of days. One of the things I talk about is the definition of insanity. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, you're insane. So I looked at this person and I said, actually, she might have even said this on an email. She said, do you think I could actually possibly be copper deficient? And it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I went, the definition of insanity. Let's try something different. So I said, why don't you try increasing your copper-rich foods and see how you feel? And she started feeling better. And I'm going, oh my goodness, now I'm going to have to rethink my whole idea about hidden copper toxicity. So I just basically deconstructed it and came up from the bottom. And now I don't believe in hidden copper toxicity until it shows up on a hair test. I don't believe in hidden copper toxicity. I mean, okay, so let me take that back. Can there be hidden calcium toxicity? Yes. I see it all the time. Can there be hidden copper toxicity? Yes. More rare. But it happens. It shows up on later hair tests. And can there be hidden iron toxicity? Yes. Can there be hidden all sorts of minerals on the hair test toxicity? Yes. You start treating and you're not giving a certain mineral, and all of a sudden you see a mineral spike and you go, whoa, and there's like 6 other minerals spiking with it. That's a detox. Okay. Because the next test it calms right back down to where it was before. This is the work I do. This is why people can't handle hair tests, because they want the hair test to be just linear. Like you're either refilling a deficiency and it just goes up like this, or you're getting rid of a toxicity and it just goes down like this. That's not the way hair tests work. That's not the way life works. Like, have you ever seen that thing of like how people think progress should go and what progress really, really looks like? It's like loops and okay. That's the way life is. That's the way nutrition is. If you can't deal with the ups and downs, you should get out of the game. So, hidden copper toxicity. Mostly BS. Can it be there? Sure. I get my Australian clients, they're all full of copper. Copper everywhere. It's right there. It smacks you in the face. I had a guy who was 21 and a half. Like, that was outrageous. I think the test only goes up to like a 7. So he was 3 times higher than the top. And we've been slowly bringing him down. I think we had him at below a 10 finally after a couple years of work. That was a lot of copper, and he's feeling better. So, anyway, hidden copper toxicity. I would ditch the idea of that. If hidden copper toxicity is there and you do the treatment right, or at least, here's what I can say. The way I do treatments, copper toxicity shows itself. It pops right out if it's there. When you see a copper number like go up by 30%, 50%, double or triple, all of a sudden, that's just that's copper toxicity coming out. And the people will usually say, oh yeah, I had this insomnia and palpitations and a little bit of anxiety and I didn't know what was going on. And then it just went away. It's like that was the dump. And then it was gone. That's it. That's what we do. So, generally with low molybdenum, I'm giving some molybdenum. Generally with potassium, I have them taking potassium, and I tell people your potassium won't come up no matter how much you push it until we get rid of this vitamin D problem. That's just the way it is. The vitamin D is so strong at dumping your potassium. Everybody's tired these days. Potassium, fatigue, low potassium, you don't have enough energy. That's just the way it is. So, yeah, I'm not, until the vitamin D issue is dealt with, that's the suspect. Because it will just drop potassium. So, okay, I got another question from Harry about client experiences with vitamin C and any effects we've observed on hair tests or blood tests after introducing it in large doses. So I have now seen symptoms of vitamin C when people take large doses, which is what I'm moving into. I'm talking, 3 grams, 6 grams, 10 grams a day. And food-based ones, y'all who insist on using food-based vitamin C sources, you're not getting enough. Sorry. Vitamin C is super unstable. Like, it degrades very quickly, and in food, it just degrades. Like orange juice, very high in vitamin C, right? You put some orange juice in your fridge. A couple days later, or like a week later, it don't taste right. Nasty. The vitamin C got used up. It's gone. That's why it started tasting bad. Vitamin C in foods, once it is exposed to heat, light, and air, starts decomposing, degrading. We can't fix it. We can't repair it, is what I mean. So, all these camu and baobab and acerola cherry, the idealist in me wants to believe that is food the best form? Yes. Does food have enough to fix your years or decades or lifetime worth of vitamin C deficiency? Not on your life. No. And if you got major health problems, no way. You need even more. So, first symptoms that people will get when they start bumping up their vitamin C. It's not diarrhea. If you got a lot of iron in your gut, where's the first place you absorb iron? Your gut. Okay, those cells. Go look up macrophages and iron overload. White blood cells are one of your major sinks. By sink, I mean where you can put it. They're one of the major sinks of iron. So as we start to detox the iron in the gut, we see gas. This will pass with time. No pun intended. Passing gas, anyway. It will pass with time. What I mean is it's not a deal breaker. If you keep taking the vitamin C, the gas will go away. The gas will pass. So, I'm entertaining myself now. There's a dose that people will find, maybe let's just, throwing out numbers. Don't hold me to numbers. Let's say 4 grams at the start. No gas. 5 grams, gas. Okay. Are you okay with the gas? Okay, then just keep going. You can go up. No problem. Are you not okay with the gas because of work or whoever in your life it's a problem with? Or you, if it's a problem with you, if you're one of those people who can't stand a tube. Okay. So, you go back down to 4. Over time, the iron will clean out of your gut and you can go up and you won't have gas anymore. This is a stage thing, okay? Then, if people jump up more on their vitamin C, there's a possibility that at some point, the vitamin C may suddenly, at a certain dose, give them insomnia. Why is that? Insomnia is one of the major symptoms of iron overload. You get iron stuck in your brain and it affects your glutamate production. I'm going to do a post on Facebook about iron overload, glutamate, and vitamin C deficiency. Funny that iron overload and vitamin C deficiency, they're coming together again. Well, what I think happens, and actually what I saw from another guy, is high doses of vitamin C can very drastically detox iron from your brain and copper from your system. You remember how I mentioned copper detox symptoms a little while ago? Insomnia, palpitations, anxiety. They're not, don't ever put like one symptom on one mineral and be like, you have anxiety, well that's copper toxicity, or you have anxiety, that's potassium deficiency, or you have tight muscles, that's magnesium deficiency. No, don't do that. A limited mind wants to make one cause for one symptom. That's a limitation of the mind. Don't do that. Human body's way too complicated to just be like, this causes this and this causes this. Like, think about everybody. If you're stuck in this stage right now, I'm going to tell you want to evolve past it. The candida phase. Everybody goes through the candida phase. Everything's caused by candida. I got candida. It causes all my problems. First of all, everybody's got candida in their system. Why does it become a problem in one person and why does it not? Why do plants grow well in one garden and they don't grow well in another garden? Because of the soil. What are you feeding the soil? What's the soil made of? Okay, so anyway, I saw a post from a chiropractor the other day who said, I started taking high doses of vitamin C and it can cause problems because I started getting all these copper detox symptoms. This is a nutritional balancing guy. And he was trying to say that was a reason not to take it. And I was like, okay, how about if when you took 7 grams, you were fine, and you took 8 grams and you started getting these symptoms? What if you just went back down to 7? Seems fine, right? These are the kind of approaches that I do with my people. Logical is what I try to be. So insomnia meaning that you're detoxing faster than your body would like to handle it. I tell people sleep is a deal breaker. Sleep, you back off. There's no benefit to not sleeping. So we're still detoxing with the vitamin C. It's just slow enough that your body can handle it. Think of it as like, things overflow when the sewer gets backed up. Well, if you don't put things so fast down the sewer that they don't get backed up, then you don't have a problem. It's only once you put so much stuff in there that it backs up that you got a problem. So don't put too much in it. So, then we get up to when you take too much, when you take really too much for the system, too much for your gut to absorb, and your body's kind of saying, no thanks, that's when you get diarrhea. You always have to determine between whether taking too much vitamin C is from the single dose. Could it be just from the time of day? Like me on an empty stomach in the morning with vitamin C? Nope, doesn't work. Just doesn't work. I have my breakfast. I can take 5 grams, 6 grams, sometimes even 8 grams, no problem. And it's only like an hour later because I just had breakfast, but it's the breakfast that made the difference. And then, so you have to think of, there can be per dose threshold, there can be a per, or like a time of day, or even like an empty stomach kind of thing. Some people like doing a vitamin C on an empty stomach. And then there can be a per day amount. So you just got to evaluate that with the vitamin C stuff. But anyway, hair tests, I think I talked about the hair test impacts of the vitamin C, my expected stuff. Oh, vitamin C does chelate. It does grab onto copper, but only after about, Linus Pauling did a list of the toxic things that it chelates. Copper was like 8th down the list after mercury and lead and arsenic and all these things. So you'd have to be totally clean of those minerals before it's going to take too much copper out of you. And I can't find any evidence of copper deficiency from vitamin C in the literature. And I've read guys who are giving people, 10 grams a day every day for the rest of their lives. Where's the copper deficiency? If you can't find it in real life from people who are doing this all the time, and you can't find it in the literature other than some people theorizing about it, because when you read those copper and vitamin C papers where they're like, it might do this, this might be what's happening, we're not sure. That's not anything. So real world research, it's not lining up for vitamin C being a copper deficiency causer. It just doesn't line up. Okay. And then, okay, so this Harry again, he was saying he's sold in the idea that we need more doses of vitamin C, not because of us losing the ability to synthesize it ourselves. I don't know if we ever had it. I mean, because primates, well, whether you're an evolution or a, God or whatever, it doesn't matter. Primates don't have the ability to make vitamin C. If you believe that we are in any way DNA relatives of any sort with primates, or that we share some DNA from somewhere, is the aliens, man, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know if we ever lost it. I don't know if we ever had it. So that's semantics. Anyway. Vitamin B3. He was asking, I wondered if you lend any credence to the idea that some of us might have a similar dependency on supplemental vitamin B3. Dr. Hoffer's idea. I do use vitamin B3 specifically to lower high copper, to help detox copper. I only use that after I'm using zinc and vitamin C, usually. So I had it. Let me pull up that email, because I had an email where I answered one of my other folks. Okay. So he sent me an article from the New Zealand Herald, and it was about how Vegemite, the title of it, how Vegemite led to Australia's greatest medical breakthrough. Yay, Vegemite, right? They were talking about how a deficiency in a vital molecule known as NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, NAD, one of the most important molecules in all living cells. NAD synthesis is essential for energy production. Okay, so where I'm going with this, nicotinamide is niacinamide. Niacinamide is related to niacin. NAD, nicotinamide, niacinamide, niacin. So if you had a deficiency in niacin, you're not going to be able to make enough of this. So what I wrote back to him after I looked at this, and they talk here in the article, vitamin B3, niacin is typically found in meats and green vegetables. Recent study found that despite taking vitamin supplements, those prenatal garbage pills, at least a third of pregnant women have low levels of vitamin B3 in their first trimester, which is the critical time in organ development. By the third trimester, vitamin B3 levels were low in 60% of pregnant women. Researchers said this indicated pregnant women may require more vitamin B3 than is available in most vitamin supplements. Okay, so is it a problem of niacin manufacture in the body? Are pregnant women not able to get enough from diet? Of course, a pregnant woman would need more than a normal woman. That makes sense. She's pregnant. She's creating a whole person from scratch with what she's made of, basically. So yeah. So what I wrote back, I found an article. Listen to this. Iron loading by this is a petri dish. This is in vitro. Iron loading by 24-hour incubation with 0.36 millimoles per liter of ferric iron, ammonium citrate, resulted in a decrease in the activity of nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, NAD. Okay. Iron, that's linking iron overload to causing a decrease in NAD. Okay. And so then they're saying, the assumption was that they weren't getting enough. I'm going to tell you, okay, let me back up a second. Iron overload is when in pregnancy, iron overload shows its ugly face. I don't know why. I don't know what stirs it up. But in pregnancy, it stirs up iron. And I know Dr. Eric Lewis, he kind of confirmed that for me. Iron overload in pregnancy, they just don't go together. That's when all the problems start showing up. If they haven't shown up yet, or very well, they show up then. So, funny thing, these women, even though they were taking vitamin supplements, needed more niacin than they were expected to. Now, I was trying to do some research, see if vitamin C played into the niacin pathways. I do know vitamin C plays into B12 through the stomach acid production. I know that vitamin C plays into folate metabolism. I have papers from the 1970s showing that vitamin C plays into folate metabolism, yet we have everybody today fretting about their MTHFR, and they're not getting enough vitamin C. And I'm just kind of like, okay. I know a lot of people take MTHF, the methyl tetrahydrofolate supplements, and they don't feel, they have the MTHFR, and they're like, oh, this is going to fix my life, and they take it, and it doesn't do squat. Nothing. Zip. Probably vitamin C deficiency messing up their folate metabolism. It's in the literature. So, anyway, I think the root cause of the NAD thing was basically iron overload. So then we go to... So do I think we might need more niacin? Possibly. Do I think we should deal with the iron overload thing first? Yes. Am I getting pretty good at linking iron overload and vitamin C deficiency to most chronic diseases of the day? Yeah. I don't find it very hard to find. But I'm pretty good at searching. So I've always been gifted at that. Let me find my Facebook Live so I can see if there's any more questions by you guys. So, let's see. Here we go. Nick, high cholesterol. There's a certain vitamin that's deficient in cholesterol, high cholesterol. It's vitamin C. Why do they say red meat raises cholesterol? And they say it's because of the saturated fat in it, but they can't seem to tie. Okay, so wait. Eggs, in studies, when people eat more eggs, their cholesterol goes down. When people eat more red meat, their cholesterol goes up. Both of those things have saturated fat and contain cholesterol. Okay. Red meat has the most heme iron, the most absorbable iron of any of those products that we're going to talk about, meat, animal products. Eggs are actually known to lower iron overload. Eggs lower iron overload and lower cholesterol. Red meat has the most heme iron of any food out there, and it raises cholesterol. Do you see where we're going with this? That's the disconnect. Nobody's looking at iron and how things affect iron. Do eggs contain iron? Yes, but they have, I forget the compound in them that helps with the iron, bringing it down. So, and chicken. Well, let's move to chicken. It doesn't raise your cholesterol as much. Chicken has less iron than red meat. Not as good as eggs. I could do this all day. I could relate health things to iron all day. But since I started doing the iron overload protocol on myself, I can tell you for the years I was doing paleo and all the lots of meat and less carbs and all that stuff, my cholesterol would always sit at a 280. Was I worried about it? I sure wasn't going to take a statin for it. I started doing the iron overload stuff. I'm not trying to lower my cholesterol. I'm going to do a blood test actually here this week. But the last time I took cholesterol a couple months ago, I was 213. That was the lowest it had been since my college days. When I was a vegetarian, not a lot of meat on a vegetarian diet, right? Vegetarian triathlete, I was at a 200. And now I'm back down to a 213. I'm betting I'm going to be even better this next test because I addressed the iron overload and the vitamin C deficiency problem. You can go and look up vitamin C and cholesterol. Vitamin C will lower your cholesterol, which means it's also affecting your iron overload positively. So we have, but Nick, if you want to know my other dietary stuff, I got a 9-page handout in my client handouts that when they get on the program. Will cycling supplements, I don't do it for people on purpose. People usually do that on their own by accident enough. So, but is there any reason to stop something like vitamin C that we need every day to take a break from it? No. Just like there's no need to take you could take breaks from food. Sure, if you want to fast, might as well not take anything. But fasting is not permanent, and the thing I see with most Westerners who are going to get into fasting is that Westerners always overdo things. More is better, right? So, I don't know. I think it's just we're putting too much. Here's the problem that I think is happening. I think we're putting too much food in because our bodies demand a certain amount of nutrients that is not in the food. So our bodies want to eat more food to get the nutrients that it knows it needs, but at the same time they're getting way too many calories because they're eating way too much food to get the nutrients that they need. And then we do things like fortify the food with iron, so we get too much of that. The vitamin C content of foods has gone way down. The magnesium content of foods has gone way down. There's probably no boron left in foods. I can't see who asked about AMLA vitamin C. I don't use AMLA anymore. 9 milligrams per tablet of vitamin C once I figured it out. That doesn't cut it. And as I had people take more AMLA, they started getting weird symptoms, weird side effects. Nothing crazy, but just they didn't feel good. And so I said, stop taking the AMLA and it would all go away. And or they'd say, this started when I went up to 2 pills of AMLA a day or 3 pills of AMLA a day. I was like, nope. So no, AMLA, I've moved on. Oh, that's Gabe. Yeah, hi Gabe. So Rachel, if you took niacin and it started making a difference, that might have, you may have needed it. If you're working with me, I'm going to assume you have a vitamin C deficiency still. So, Gabe, I don't want to go over, just send me an email about the vitamin C stuff that I'm using now, because it's not as easy as, yeah. So, I got to keep some mystery, right? So, that's that. Then we have, let me see if I can see any other comments. This is weird. The Facebook Live won't show me all the comments on the thing. It'll just show me the last 4. Anyway, I think I gotta get, actually my mom showed up. I'm gonna treat her with laser here. I have a light cure laser and she wanted me to treat her with it today, so I gotta get to that. So I think I'm done with all the questions that I had to go into it with. Hope this was fun. My plan is I'm going to start putting this stuff on my blog instead of on Facebook. So, because I'm not so sure about the future of things on Facebook overall. So anyway, I'll still put links up to my stuff. I just don't think I'm going to be doing my Facebook notes as much on Facebook. You can still check for them, but I'm going to try to start doing them on a blog. Because I want people to be able to find me from everywhere, not just have to have an account on Facebook to get in. And when Facebook made it so I had to do Messenger on my phone to get my messages from a website, put an app on my phone so I can get messages from a website when all the notifications come through just fine. This is not heading in the right direction, folks. Yeah. I'd like to have a little bit of privacy from Facebook. So anyway, that's all I have. So again, I am Dr. Smith. I'm a licensed naturopathic physician in the state of Arizona. I am a doctor. I am not your doctor. So even if you're a client of mine and you watch one of these and you're not sure what to do, or you're wondering if I'm saying you should change something, you should email me. Do not take actions based on this video. Okay? And then, so if you want to get in touch with me, nutritionrestored.com. Julie's email, be nice to Julie, or don't don't contact me if you're not going to be nice to my front office. Admin@nutritionrestored.com. 520-577-6888. And we do Skype for you international folks. So anyway, hope you all have a good day. Talk to you later. See you again.